Well, Ruby, what is you doing?
Hey, wait, sorry, what are we sorry.
You
What are
know
we all
what?
supposed to
Fuck
be
it. This
doing?
is all gonna be part of it because what we want everybody to motherfucking do is smoke weed and watch Motherhood Sex
Sex
Marijuana.
marijuana. Because
Yes.
we always in the building.
We always in the motherfucking building. Season 7, legendary trends. We gonna be coming with some new shit and be in the building for all of it every Sunday on time. Cool.
I know I'm coming. They know I'm coming. I know they gonna be there. And they know I'm gonna do the best job I can possibly.
60.
Marijuana.
Yes.
We always in the building.
We I got that. I got that. Imagine that. I'm late. Say word. Say word. What do you know? What do you know? Let's get this started. Yes, over here. Let's get this started. Ruby already know where she needs to be at, so let's get this started, huh? Motherhood, sex, marijuana in the building. With a Dadalorian dad, something like. Shoot. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Kai. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good, my dear. Thank you for allowing me to be on y'all's show today.
Oh, of course, of course. Motherhood, sex, marijuana in the building now.
Oh,
Of
yes.
course, Ruby is usually the late one. I was maybe 2 minutes late for this recording, but Ruby's usually late, and that's understandable based on the fact that she got a baby.
For sure.
That's under 5, and she got to get that situated.
Well, see, I gotta give her
before,
some. I gotta give her some shit though, because I'm her cousin, and I got babies under 5 too. I'm here. I'm just playing.
Oh shit! See, and I wanted to ask her too, because based on the last name, I wanted to ask her like, "Yo, is this your family?"
Yeah.
But I didn't even get the chance to ask her, and then she ain't never said nothing. So I was just like, "Okay, maybe they just got the same last name." You know what I mean? People do that.
No.
Like, what the hell? It's not. They ain't gotta be related. It's okay. You know what I mean? But then, but yes, you're her cousin. Okay, so shoot. All right.
So
well,
why am I not surprised she late then? Right.
First things first, I want to introduce you correctly because
for sure.
based on your Instagram, it says a Dadalorian. How does that go? Because
a Dadalorian life. Yeah. So it's just a play on the Mandalorian, the TV show, the Star Wars TV show, and so I just put a Dadalorian more so on that, just to play with words on that.
Child, maybe it's just the girl in me, but I ain't familiar with Star Wars and
no worries,
and DeLoreans and whoever.
No worries. My page ain't nothing. It ain't no Star. I'm not a Star Wars nerd or geek, anything like that. I'm just a fan of the show, and I just saw an opportunity to change that up a little bit and make it more just about a dad. Right.
Nice. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself while we wait for Ruby. Introduce yourself. We already know you, Ruby cousin, but what's the story behind a Dadalorian life?
For sure. Well, first off, thank you for having me.
Of course,
following y'all and the support. I saw just recently, a couple of days ago, you were highlighting y'all's 46 subscribers, new subscribers this week. I'm sad to say that I was one of the new ones now. I thought I was already subscribed on YouTube, but I'm one of your new 46 that just came through. So I got you.
Nice. And that gives people that are watching a hint. Yes. Hint. Subscribe, damn it. Subscribe. Yes. But yes, go ahead.
Got you. So yeah, my name is Patrick Tafua. I have the honor and pleasure to be Ruby's cousin. Growing up with her, I was very much her little cousin. But there was a moment in time that we were neighbors to each other. So we do come from a long time. And we've come a long way. And I'm looking forward to reconnecting with my girl in this capacity on this platform later when she gets here. But I am a husband and a father of 2 little boys who are 5 and 2. And we currently live in Sacramento, California. My wife's originally from here, but I'm from Southern California through and through. But I guess I'll just claim Sacramento now. This is where we set roots and where we started our family and where we go. And looking forward where we go from here, But other than that, I know that my cousin loves to stay. She's a proud Samoan, and so am I. Right? I am a proud Samoan as well, and looking forward to kind of bringing that understanding, because that's where Dadalorian life is and where that came about. Right? It's really just kind of fatherless to fatherhood. That's my journey, and uncovering and discovering what fatherhood really means to me without having an actual father in my home. That's kind of what my page is really starting to become about. Just recently in one of y'all episodes, and I got to give you another flowers, right? I think it was your pom pom. I wrote it down. It was titled Hot Pom Pom episode. But you talked about
Hot Pom Pom episode, yes.
Yeah. You talked about specifically believing in yourself. And if you're going to start your business to get going, and I can't lie, that helped me it's something that I'm trying to get over the hump with right now with a Dadalorian life. The whole purpose is to be able to bring my experience and strengthen the men, the fathers, the husbands, whether you got a full family like I do or not. But if you are associated with children and you are a man, I want to help you build this community that we can build to strengthen each other, because it's just, you're seeing a little different type of communication vocabulary coming out about men and the fathers and those associated with children this day and age. And I, coming from experience of not having a father in my life and what that was for me, I'm trying to bring to light of like what we can do to empower the men who are associated with children, who have children in their lives, who are a part of it, like what we got to do. And so what I believe that is, and just a little bit, is building and strengthening reliability in the home, in the family, through love and availability. And that's what I have on my page. But what I'm trying to do is, like you said, is do you and be confident and go with it. And that's something I think when this launches, I'm hoping to already have been going on it. But that's what it's about. That's what a Dadalorian life is about, and what I'm understanding of fatherhood and what I've uncovered and discovered. And I give, and again, Ruby asked me to be on here, but it's because I give her dad, RIP, my Uncle Sila. He's definitely one of those father figures, and that's, I'm sure, we'll highlight tonight, like all of the type of men who came through as a community in the village, who stepped in, that I took their pieces of the good from each, and my Uncle Sila, Ruby's dad, is certainly one of those men. And I said that in my little email, about her dad, and that's something that I will highlight again.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Yes, Ruby Doll is coming into the building. Girl, why you ain't tell me this was no, don't do it. Oh my gosh. Because why you ain't tell me this was your cousin?
Patrick, I love you so much. I love you too, Kai. Don't trip. I'll tell you all about it again.
Because you could have said that this was your cousin. I could have asked, yes. I could have been a little bit nosy, but then I decided,
he said it in the email.
Like you told me. So then that means, so then that shows that sometimes I don't read emails. Okay,
Kai,
wait a minute.
We were already recording, so I didn't say that. I didn't say that to you, that it was in the email. That's because out of love, I didn't do it.
Oh damn! So
I'll let Ruby do the
talking. I'm over here accusing shit, and I should have read the email. Okay, so Kai,
you usually do. That's why I'm like, dang girl, for real.
I know, right? Like, Kai, you should have chilled out and read that email. But you know what it is? Sometimes I'm so in a rush. Like my whole thing be like, okay, word, you want to be on the show? Cool. Let me send you the info. Okay, cool. I'm on to this. Like, because I got so many hats I wear. So sometimes, yes, I gotta admit to the audience, sometimes I read, but sometimes I don't read. Sometimes I might take in the words, but sometimes, the words fly away. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
But from a business point, Kai, I read your email as such, and I saw that, though. you about your business, you got to get things done. You're getting your things done. I took no disrespect from it at all, because I understand that you got to get your things done.
That's right.
That's all it was. So
that's right.
You good.
That's right. I love it. I love the transparency we are already experiencing here, guys. I'm just trying to get myself situated because I'm at the park. And speaking of motherhood, I had a whole meltdown right before we got to the park. Like, what the hell's going on? We're at the park. And you guys know what it is. So we had to settle the little babies. They were fighting a little bit. And I got my queen over here too. We're just chilling and trying to find a good space to have this conversation. So please keep going, because I got a lot to say. So I'm gonna let y'all do your little things, because I got a lot to say.
Well, good, because first of all, I wanna make sure and point out that he gave us flowers for things that we have discussed in previous episodes. I definitely appreciate that. Every time we get love, it's definitely something that needs to be shouted out, because Lord, we not, you know what I'm saying? Yes, we do this for fun, but we actually want people to watch, want people to engage, want people to enjoy, and definitely spread the word and tell a friend, you feel me? So absolutely, you know what I mean? But one of the things I definitely appreciate you bringing up is just the fact that your page and your social media growth represents, fatherhood, and represents what, what you are trying to project is as fatherhood, and trying to, reduce the negative statements that could be in your cipher or around you, or just being projected in social media, period. The negativity of, maybe of fathers not being there, or just, not, or fathers not, fully being in their children's relationships. I myself can speak on that, because when I was younger, I didn't really know my father, and it wasn't until I was grown that me and him developed a relationship. And literally, it was the relationship developed not because I pushed for it, or I asked for it, or I looked for it. I mean, I looked for a relationship with him when I was a teenager. And when I saw that it really wasn't going, I kind of pulled back and did my own thing. So when, we came back around as me being a grown person, at first I was kind of like, why do I even need to talk to you first? Like, sir, like, I'm a grown ass woman. I got children now. Like, what can a relationship with you even be of benefit to me? And it wasn't until, we reconnected and got more, together, and more, involved in each other's lives, where it's like, now it's like, that's my dad. I live, I live 5 minutes away from him, and you know what I'm saying, I will call him on a regular basis. I will go to his house, and you know what I'm saying, all of that, you know what I mean? So it's definitely a relationship that I could say now that I'm glad I have, you know what I mean? And I definitely, am glad that you want to, put that idea out there, because in general, I feel like, our social media, our, news, everything around us is trying to get us to be depressed, and,
Absolutely.
and not connect with people, you know what I'm saying? Like, they trying to put men against women, you know what I'm saying? Kids against adults, you know what I mean? All kind of, it's always, you know what I mean? So, and that relationship right there between, father and children definitely is one of the things that's been harped on for years. Like, even in the welfare system, they say that, they help women more that are single rather than in a relationship. And that's been going on for years, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's almost like society been trying to, separate us on a regular basis. So you pushing that idea and being behind that idea is definitely commendable. I appreciate you for that. And one thing I want to know is like what exactly, like, what's your plan? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you like, talking to people? Are you going to, like, you got groups going on? What exactly is your brand going to be about? Like, how do you plan to push this idea?
Absolutely. Thank you. And to take a step back, though, we talked about the negativity around all of that in that order, but let's be real too. Like, I think there's just some misunderstandings from what a man needs to be in association with kids. And I said that earlier. I said not only fathers and husbands, but like those associated with kids, men's associated with kids, because sometimes you're not the kid's biological father, right? You know, and I have a stepdad. He came into my life when I was 10, but like I also recognize like there were some things that I needed still him to be like a dad, but he wasn't. But I love him, and I'm going to tell you he's my dad and tell anybody. But he's an example that I kind of use. Like you were associated with me. Like there were some things that I still needed some education on of becoming a man and things that just didn't happen. You know, I still sought after that from others. So again, I get where I'm trying to set is like, it's not only just fathers with the kids, but it's just like, if you are a man associated with children, you know, like there's a sort of responsibility that we have. And then there's like, I believe a way to build reliability, because something you highlight, Kai, like on the internet and on the social media for our kids these days, that's where they're going for their sources. That's where they're going for what they believe to be their truth or true, whatever. And sometimes I believe that they should be getting their truths from their home, from their parents, you know, not letting such and such come through from wherever they are coming from in social media, wherever they're finding them, and thinking that like, that's what I need to follow. Like there are good people out there. And like, and this is kind of to circle back to me, like, why would you want to listen to me? Because I just now said you're in social media, like don't believe that guy, like, but why would you want to listen to me? Like, well, I think I got to authentically come out first and foremost and be myself on social media. And so that's kind of how I've been going about it so far, is just building a sort of a following or whatever you want to call it, just to resonate with me, whether it's putting up stupid, silly video things, but also highlighting just what I believe a father should be and how you see me doing it and navigating fatherhood first. I think you just got to be able to resonate. Y'all have done that, specifically how you came up. It's just, this is what y'all's thing: motherhood, sex, marijuana. You guys are only going after your audience, and those who follow you, that's your community. You don't need the billions, you know what I'm saying? And I don't need the billions of followers, but I do want a community. I want a men and even mothers who understand where I'm coming from and like how important it is about reliability, because I want my kids and the kids that I'm associated with, whether that's my nephews, you know, the nieces and whatnot, to recognize that they can rely on their Uncle Patrick, you know, that, and then my kids can rely on dad, to be able to be honest and say like, no, I don't know shit about what you just talked about. I have no clue what that is, but I'm going to do the work to find out, kid, because I want you to continue to come back to me. So how I'm going to do it, and say this message again, the steps I found is, first, let's build, resonate, like content that you resonate with, that we understand, let you see me. I've been recently being vulnerable. I've been recently like coming out and talking about my story. I've never done that in social. And like I said, you put that on your thing, like you got to be union and just get over that hump. And that's something I'm working on, to be able to get people to come through the screen, come see me as me and not Dad Lorian, whatever, you know. So gonna start there. But if I stay true to what I believe is the recipe for reliability with love and availability, right? Like I gotta show the people the love and let them come to love me. Let them and make myself available to whatever questions that they're like. I've been putting myself out there, letting people ask questions, whatever the hell they want to ask about me. And then some questions be crazy, but like I'm putting myself out there, giving myself availability to hopefully become a reliable resource. And that's kind of my framework, how I'm going about it to build this thing. But it's like you said, like there's a lot of negative, but I think it's just more a lot of misunderstanding, you know, and especially for the men specifically. Sometimes they think they got to be one thing, or they just realize, or they put it off to someone else to raise their kid. And I just, no, man, like you got an obligation, and I want to empower you to understand like what you got is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like what you have is enough now for your kids that you're with. And then let's work with each other to keep going so that you become the most reliable thing for your kids. Because I learned the men like my Uncle Sela and Ruby, I threw flowers already over to your dads and my Uncle Sela, but like there's one thing that I know I could do was I was relying on him, because there was many times that man showed me that love and he was available to me whenever. And I just associate this whole thing, this equation or theme that I got based on these experiences with the men in my life, like my Uncle Sela and all the other men that I've been associated with their love and availability. So that's how.
You know what? I need to say something real quick. And thank you so much for that. Like, I'm still trying not to interrupt you and I'm beaming so much because, man, Kai, Patrick and I used to be up in his living room dancing to Christina Aguilera, freaking Britney Spears, NSYNC or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like a motherfucker's only friend. He was my only friend a lot of the times, because we lived like right next door to each other at one point. And I want to I want to say something. Excuse me. He has a phenomenal mother. Shout out to my auntie Leela, because I would like tag along when they would like have, you know, certain things, when they would do certain things. And she always like took care of me. Like, she made me feel like there was like more to life. Like, that it was okay to enjoy the pleasures that life can bring, as long as you work hard for it. And I think that that's priceless. She also made me feel like sometimes, like, dang, I'm missing out on a lot of shit. Like, y'all doing really well, you know. I can't. But my parents are old school. You know, we didn't. There were certain things that wasn't even in their scope, and it's okay. But I just want to say to you, Patrick, that you're so freaking amazing. Like, I love how authentic you are. I feel like even though I haven't seen you for like so many years, like, it's just gonna be the same love and appreciation, like, over and over with. And I just, that's like priceless to me, you know? And I just, as somebody who stays away purposefully, purposely, I do my own thing. I get really emotional when it comes to our family, because I think we're like amazing, but I also, like, you know what I'm saying? I feel a lot of things. But I just wanted to thank you for taking time over here. And I just want to thank you. It's been such a joy watching you interact with your beautiful children, your family, your wife. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, oh my God, last time I saw him, we was literally dancing in his place. You know what I mean?
I had hair.
So I don't know if you remember that. What's that?
I had hair last time you saw me. You know what I mean?
But, see, and he mentioned that it had been a while since y'all seen each other, and that y'all grew up, as next door neighbors. You know what I mean? And that's and honestly, that's a good thing to mention, because, as you know what I mean. First of all, yes, we're grown and fabulous now. Yes,
absolutely.
Hair flip. We're grown and fabulous now. But what I'm saying is, as kids, you know what I'm saying? We probably nerdy, probably, not too popular with everybody else. I myself definitely had no name brand clothes. And New York City in the 80s with no name brand clothes, child, you got served every time you walked out your house. So you feel me? So so to have somebody to, connect with somebody that's in your family that you were able to, definitely have special moments with, because Lord, dancing in the living room to who? Oh, you know what I'm saying? That is so wonderful. And again, I like I said, the fact that you grew up with the thought of not, being, not seeing, fatherhood as a negative. Because first and foremost, that's one thing, as women, we automatically, well, I ain't gonna say automatically, because there are some women out there pushing out kids and they don't give two fucks about them. So let's just say the women that give a fuck about their children, when we have them, we automatically associate responsibility to them. We automatically start, planning, thinking, plotting, however, whatever you got to do, you start figuring out what you need to do with women. And then society, that's automatic. That's like they automatically think that's our thoughts, you know what I mean? And most of us, do think like that. But for men, it is the idea is really just given that, oh, they just, shove dick and pum pum, and pum pum breed, and he can go wherever the fuck he want to if he want to, and he don't gotta remember that he had a kid there and a kid there and a kid there and a kid there. You know what I mean? That's the idea that's really pushed out. So to have somebody that's trying to go against that idea is definitely a commendable thing. Now, what made you actually even decide to go this route? Like, was there a special, like, was there something particular that happened to you or happened within your fatherhood that you said, fuck that, I need to make sure that all men are represented right?
Yeah, you know what? There's two things. One, it tags right back to Ruby, and thank you for highlighting my moms and whatever, because I'm baby mama's. I'm her baby boy, and there's and so when it comes to motherhood, and for my moms, like, I love that lady so much that I recognize like what it took me becoming an adult, seeing like, damn, like I see why she married again and why she wanted, she needed that person.
Shout out to mamas. Mamas are important. Hello. How you doing?
Yeah, I think mothers are very
hello.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mamas are very important. And, so what I learned though, as I gotten older, what spurred the catalyst was talking to my moms and understanding her past relationships. She was married twice. Okay. And they were terrible marriages and they were terrible men. From her perspective, of course, I'm biased because I'm hearing it from my mom's perspective, but in all reality, all my siblings don't like their dads either. Right. So, this is their dad. They don't give two shits about their dads, and in Samoan culture, you're going to have respect, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But there's a reason why I respect what Ruby's doing and being away, because unfortunately boundaries aren't met sometimes with the older generation. They don't understand that. They don't understand the boundaries. They just expect that respect to be there consistently, even though their ass wasn't consistently at all, with being approached or being approached, whatever. So understanding how my mom went through all of that and understanding like through my experience, I'm like, damn, like, okay, like this is why motherhood's so important to me in my eyes, that like how I got to support my mom, my baby's mamas, right? And how I go about supporting her, because I saw through my mom's experience what that was like for without her, and how she wasn't supported raising the 6 kids that she had, you know what I'm saying? And so for me, that was the first moment why I want to go this route, is because I got this experience of recognizing it's not just about me or the fathers, it's supporting the mom. Like that's what I'm trying to do, because I recognize like having a single mom doing it. Of course, I'm a product of a single mother and I'm damn proud of it. But damn, what could I have been with as a father too? Like, I don't know. But I'm really self-aware, and I try to be most of the time in my life. And I recognize there is value being added from this experience that I have, being a product of a single mother and a product of a village of good men, that I should be able to share this experience, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. That's the first. But the second moment happened was when I actually went and sought after my biological dad. Okay. Now I'm going to put this, and this is part of me being vulnerable and putting it out to the world. So Ruby, do you know who my dad is? Biological dad?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you known?
For a long time, and I apologize because I thought you knew too.
Yeah, so like, let me go back, right? So I was 7 years old and we were at a church function, and little Peter Brown came to me and ran to me and told me, hey, you got a different dad? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm thru. And I'm like, what do you mean? And so I ran to my mom's in the kitchen. I was like, hey, little Peter says I have a different dad. And then little Peter got his ass kicked by his dad for like breaking this truth. Okay. But this whole experience of understanding like who my biological dad is in accordance to the Tafua family is pretty wild. Mom got a little wild there, messing with whatever, so, right.
Because I don't think it's wild at all, but go ahead.
But regardless, it is what it is. So now as an adult, and I was a father, and I was like, does he want to know his kids? Like, does he want to know he have grandkids? Because my understanding, I'm his only blood child. So there was concern for me in my health and what could be happening for my kids. So I kind of want to know, like, what's your health like? I'm hearing some things, Birdie's little chirping at me saying like, you're not healthy. So what the hell is that? Should I be aware? Like, is it going to be passed on? And do you want to meet your kids? So I went hunting to try to find them. And I went to my uncles and aunts, and their pride was too high to try to make this happen, because they wanted to be the mediator between it all and try to introduce me to my biological father. That like,
and at this point it's too late. The secret is out. Like,
just let me know. Let me get a hold of this man and let's have a conversation. So we finally have a conversation, and it's respectful. Again, that's the mothers teaching on me being respectful, and we have a conversation, you know, and we lay things out. I tell him about his grandchildren, his grandson here. You know, do you want to meet? We try to do all this, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I haven't talked to man in 2 years. Okay. Now I understand his health may be bad or whatever, but it's my experience now is that, like, I know there's other kids like me, and you have the blessing to be reconnected with your dad. But I know there's still some like me. That hole is filled. I'm good. But my messaging and understanding and navigating fatherhood without that pure example of a bio dad in the present is my story, and that I want to be able to bring to this world, to those who understand that piece, because that's a difficult piece to really come through with. Because some kids still hold that resentment. They still hold that resentment, and I'm trying to empower them, let them know, like, you're good, you are man enough, and you're gonna be okay. But let me just share you how I've come to know that, and we'll do this together. And as I said in the email that you probably didn't read, wink, wink, but I said I'm going to lift each other higher, right? Like, that's what I said in the email, but that's what I hope to do.
Yo, that is what's up. Honestly, it was big. It's big of you to want to go and find him in the first place, and you know, because then in your mind you cross that path, and you know what I'm saying, you close that chapter amicably. It wasn't no wondering in your head of where he is or how he is, and you know, and obviously, because you said you ain't speak to him in 2 years, I'm assuming, you know, a relationship didn't develop for, you know, conversations to be had in the first place. You know what I mean? And you're fine with that, and that's the good part. In my situation, like, it kind of was, because I didn't look for my father. I really did. Well, I looked for him when I was a teenager, but once I realized that it wasn't no reciprocation, I kind of fell back. And literally, the main reason why we connected was because I am connected with everyone in my family except my father, like my grandmother, his mother, you know what I'm saying, his sisters, you know, his brothers, they all knew me throughout my years, and would speak to me throughout my years, knew about, you know, my kids and everything, but me and him never connected. And then when we connected, like, I remember him asking me, like, why I never tried to, and I literally was realer than real dear Holyfield, like, bruh, I'm good, I'm grown, like, what, like, you know what I'm saying?
Let me interject that,
like, bruh,
I'm with you, because guess what? I was with my family too. I was with his siblings. Ruby was there. We was all in the family functions. And so, just to your point, it's like, and so it took me to become a father, and now I'm realizing, like, man, I love my kids so damn much, like, so much. Like, I love this boy. Where the fuck's you at? Like, and there's some traditional or cultural shit that probably happened behind the scenes as they tried to explain it to me. But there's just some things I'm just like, yo, like, damn, like, I love my kids so much. Like, where's you at?
There's so many adjectives that I could think of, but I do want to remind you of a couple of things. And I think you might know this already, and you've already alluded to it, in that I think that when we nurture our children, we're really nurturing our inner child. I know that's for sure for me, because if you think I'm wild now, I was very wild before I had Sela, my biological child, firstborn. So I totally can understand. And it's like, even though
and not to cut you off, Ruby, but we all have our wild side. I talk about that on a regular basis, that our teenage and our early, you know, 21s to 25s, that's when we were discovering ourselves. And we was here, we was there, we was, you know, we was in places. We was in things.
I was still an adult, you know, discovering myself, girl.
and we found the way out.
Right. And you know what about the whole shame thing? I think that's why it makes what Patrick said is the very reason why I come up on here and I talk very openly about my sexual life. And because I'm not going to anyway, let's just say that. But even though I was raised in a nuclear family dynamic where I had a mother and a dad in the home, I'm so grateful for that. However, I don't allude that mere fact to the reason why I was such a great kid, because I do believe I was a phenomenal kid. I was misunderstood. My parents were very strict. It was almost like to the point of ridiculousness. And because they were so strict, as soon as I could drink a beer or smoke a cigarette, I was doing that. And then I was the perfect Mormon kid, because we're Mormon kids. You know, we grew up that way. Shout out to the Mormon church. I have nothing bad to say, dude. I served a mission. It was phenomenal. What I do understand is that I have a relationship with God that I prefer to say, hey, look, God, I'm talking to you. You know, I believe in you and I always will. So because I live my life a certain way, I'm not going to go and parade as if I'm not doing it on one particular day. I'm just not going to do that. Yeah. So, anywho, what I mean to say to all of that is that also, in my research, it's been found that a child's happiness is actually alluded to the quality of happiness that their mother has. So although my cousin, you know, unfortunately, thank God he has some amazing brothers. Shout out to Patrick's brothers. Y'all know who you are. You're freaking phenomenal. I love all of you. So he has some amazing brothers that are like and himself are like the epitome of what every woman would want in a heterosexual relationship, that wants to have some kids and want to be serious. You feel me? It's okay if you don't want that either. But anyway, like I'm saying is, he's pulled from all these great sources that weren't necessarily traditional. And right now I live a life where I'm a single mother. I have 2 different baby daddies, okay? And I have a very interesting story as to how I had my 3rd child. I'm also in another state, kind of figuring things out, but I've never been happier, because I think that I've always tried to like find a relationship, find some validation in somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? But if I do see that person and I'm like, oh yeah, I could give up some alone time to chill with that person, I'll let y'all know on here, okay? Until then, it's equal opportunity employer. What y'all got? I'm gonna put it in there. I'm a saleswoman.
I freaking love you, Ruby.
That's my commercial. Patrick, I have a question for you. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Queen. Were you gonna say something?
No, go ahead, because I damn sure. Oh, excuse me. I damn sure think your questions will be better than mine, since that is your.
Oh man. So Patrick, as far as you and your wife, what are some things that you found are her love languages, and how do you try to like focus on that?
Yeah, her love languages are touch and quality time. And so first off, you actually got to go with desire to learn that first off as a man. And I believe that's the truth. You got to go find her love languages, understand them. And hers are touch and quality time. And I get that. So those are very important to me. And your question was, how do I go about finding it? Is that right? Or
how do you focus on that, knowing that?
How do you focus on it? First off, is desire to do so, right? Like you got to have desire to want to do that for your wife and please and understand her. You can't say you understand her and love her if you don't even just go plainly on the surface level of her love languages. And they don't even go to do and accommodate that part. You know what I mean? Because notice I didn't say it was gift receiving. I didn't say it was words of affirmation. She don't give 2 shits about those things. She thinks it's nice, right? Who wouldn't want love? Who wouldn't want love gifts, right? You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't love words of affirmation? But I understood it's touch and time. And you know, it's just a matter of making sure I understand it. That's a big thing. What I'm trying to preach is like, first you got to learn the love languages. Even for your kids, they ain't the same love languages. Also, you got to spend time understanding each kid has their own little love language, and being able to accommodate to as best you can. Like, it's where you lack, that's okay. Work it up. It's just like working it out. But yeah, it was important for me to learn that right away.
Word. So let's talk about a little bit about discipline now, because
okay.
You know, here at Motherhood Sex Marijuana,
I heard it.
You know, Ruby and I see differently when it comes to disciplining. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying.
I come from listen. Your mama crazy, and she gonna give you a warning. She gonna give you a smidgen of a warning, and then if you pretend like you can't hear or you forgot, the reminder is gonna be a little harsh. Just a little bit all in your ass, don't give a fuck type of thing is what I do. While Ruby does, the opposite. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming that eventually she gets to beat that ass, but then after they beat that ass, there's a conversation about, well, how do you feel? And how, and mommy would like you to maybe listen to me more so that I don't have to beat your ass. While me, I wouldn't even have that motherfucking conversation. Fuck you mean? Listen, I fucking told you the first motherfucking time, stop playing with me, and now you playing with me. So now I'm gonna have to beat the bricks off your ass. And when I'm done, go over there and stay the fuck over there and don't bother me so I don't have to beat your ass again. That's how I do. So how does it go in your house?
Yeah. Great question.
Yes, I'm a husband too, and he'll dip in when he'll definitely dip in when it's necessary. But naturally, most of the disciplinary comes from the crazy one, which is we don't want to point her out. We not pointing her out.
Hint, right? Hint.
No.
Hint. Well, first off, let's clarify, Ruby. What is your parenting style? Is it more of that gentle parenting way, or what?
She's gentle for a tomboy or a person of color with the child. I ain't got time.
But it's like, no, like seriously, we do have conversations. I prefer not to hit them. In fact, when I do, it's like almost like I feel bad. But I've always been kind of a pussy, Patrick. You know that.
No, but that doesn't surprise me, truthfully, knowing you, like you taking that parenting style. Because even for me, like, yes, we were like each other's friends, but like you're my big sister in that regards, and like how you conversate with me and taught me things, whether I remember them or not. It's more about how you made me feel in those moments, though, when you were teaching. And I imagine that's how you approach with your kids in terms of understanding, like maybe it's not what you're teaching them with your words, but it's how you make it them feel. And I think that probably is how you're going about it. Because from a Samoan standpoint and how our culture is, and I've watched Ruby get disciplined. I watched her ass get disciplined as a 16-year-old around my car. She was getting chased. Okay, I've watched this. So I was like, okay, not taking that. I'm not taking that. So I recognize from your approach, I'm not surprised, Ruby, because I saw your discipline front seat in front of my house. So like I would totally get fucked up. Can I just quick story? Because I knew when we coming up.
Please.
So like you got my mom, because it was just my mom and I. Everyone else was already outside the house. So we had a little, and what she alluded to, a little bit more of life, because my mom didn't have to spread the money to 8 other kids. It was just her and myself. So yeah, I was a little bit spoiled. So our phone line, we had unlimited phone line or whatever it was at the time on our landline. And y'all's did it. And so there would be times where Ruby would come over to my house and it was just me at my house. My mom was working and Ruby would just use the phone. There's no repercussions. She could talk to whoever she want. And I didn't give a damn. I was just playing my little video games. She's on the phone. Well, one time we made the mistake of having the door open and seeing inside, and my auntie saw Ruby and she's like, "What are you doing?" And came in and just came like, and I'm not talking like this was the, I guess, experience for me, because I was like, man, those weren't slaps, like those are full-on fists coming down on my cousin right now. Okay, so never mess with Auntie Tolu.
Oh, damn.
I took that note, like, don't piss off Auntie. Okay, but and so like, taking that experience, and I'm like, man, like, yeah, I'm not surprised you take that approach with your kids. I probably am a good blend of both of y'all in that sense. I think the conversation is necessary. I think that making sure that for them to understand, because like I said, we're trying to navigate in this world now where like there's other podcasts, there's all these YouTube videos, there's all these other sources of quote unquote truth or good, right? And we don't know what the hell our kids be watching sometimes. and you know, or what ad pops up out of nowhere. So I think the conversation is necessary only because I'm trying to make sure my kid can come to me whenever, wherever to talk to me, because I don't want, and I think Ruby would attest to this growing up in the Mormon church. As youth, you kind of put some, you try to hide that stuff. You know, you don't want to tell anybody about what's going on, even if it's not even bad. Oh, I drank, you know, I came to church. I don't know, like there's just the little examples, right? And it's just, I don't want my kids to feel like they did something so bad, whether in hindsight, it's like not the worst thing ever, but that they can't come talk to me. So I try to go through my disciplining, making sure like there is a conversation, and I literally come down to their level. I took that from working at Disneyland. That was my first job. Disneyland trains you as a cast member to come down to the kids' level and look at them eye to eye to talk, because the kids going to Disneyland all day looking up and they're hurting their neck. So when you're trying to communicate, come to their eyes. And so when I try to discipline, I make sure there is a discipline. I'll as we call it, a sasa, you know, I'll give a little spank, you know, but we're going to have a conversation. My kid, my oldest, hates it. I don't want to talk. No, we're going to talk. Like, we need to talk and let you know, like, why the hell you're never going to talk to your moms like that, you know, not in front of me, or why you're not going to hit you. Like, why you got to make sure you understand. And it's just, again, I just want to make sure he can be able to know he can always rely on me to come through for the bad and the good and the ugly. And that's what I believe will happen. That's what I found in my research, understanding the communication, what I hope it brings. But damn, girl, we all know life is unpredictable. Like, I don't know, but I'm going to do my damnedest to just make sure my kid knows I see him and we can have the conversation no matter what it is.
That's so beautiful. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. And yes, you know, like I said, I mean, with my, I have 3 kids, and my oldest is 26, and if she was here, she'd be the first one to tell you that I got soft with the two little ones. You know what I mean? Because with her, I would just go for the jugular. Like, what? Yeah. No, ain't no conversation. What you doing? What happened? You know what I mean? And, but with these, you know, and especially now, you know, I do smoke a little bit more weed. The weed is stronger. So, you know, like I said, there will be a conversation, a tad bit of warning. But the foundation is that, you know, your mama crazy, right? Okay, so if I ask you to make sure that the teacher don't call me because you at school wilding out, because you're not going to be in school wilding out, so that's the only reason she's not going to call me, right? You got it, right? So you go to school, you learn, and you don't have her call me. Okay, so now that she called me and I done warned you, I could whoop your ass because I done warned you about this one calling me, right? Yes. It's all together now. We all had a conversation. Understood. Right. You know what I mean?
I have to really forgive my mom. Honestly, like, even though I make light of it all the time, seriously, what I endured with my mom, I would say in my 30s, I started processing the body shame that I learned from her. No diss to her. I love you, mama. You know, I had to, but she taught me body shame. She taught me how to lie, because I had to lie to be around them all constantly. She taught me how to, let's just say she just taught me a lot of whatnots. And so Patrick did say that, and that is very much tied to why I don't fuck my kids up like that. I do not, let's say we're at the park. This just happened. My son was like, he was throwing a fit. He's like, get away from me. I don't want you to touch me. All right. I'm not going to touch you. I'll respect your space, not because I feel like there's too many balongis or white people around. It doesn't have nothing to do with that. It's like, okay, he's telling me he don't want me to touch him right now. All right, cool. I don't want to, like Patrick said, the psychology in that Disneyland thing is correct. But I feel like no one knows the answer, dude. Like, at the end of the day, I think we all phenomenal parents, but we don't claim to know all the answers. We just choose to work with our values. So if your values are a certain way, and we don't judge anybody on how you choose to do anything.
No judgment at all. I only bring it up because it's definitely good content, and it's a conversation that we've had, and it also shows that you know, while me and Ruby are in the same in certain areas, we're definitely different, and we appreciate each difference. There's nobody judging, no difference here. You know what I mean? Because the bottom line is, back in the day, we all heard, you know, stories. You know what I'm saying? We hear people talk about, you know, that some people they got beatings and stuff from their parents, and it made them a better person than who they were. And then we hear about people getting beatings and saying, you know, that felt like abuse, and therefore I'm not going to abuse my kids, and I'm gonna do it this way. So and which all goes back to the fact that it's all about how you do it. Nobody should be outside of your circle telling you how to parent your situation, and or judging how you parent your situation. Because the fact is, as long as you're being in that child's life and trying to find some kind of, you know, because all punishment is, and being disciplinary, it's all about giving your kids structure. And at the end of the day, that's one of the purposes of your job. That's part of your job description. You supposed to, you know what I mean, give your kids structure so that they understand structure. Because
Patrick, were you going to say something
they become
about that?
a grown person, they gotta.
Yeah. No, you got, go ahead. No, but like what I was going to say, Kai, is when you got to that point. But I still want you to parent. Like, let's be real. Like, I still want you to parent. Don't just say you're the kid's friend.
You got a parent. The point of your parenting is giving structure. You definitely, because when we as adults, we have to confine to some kind of structure. The whole matrix is about structure. You know what I'm saying? And walking through this matrix the right way, in order to not be involved in fuck shit, you going through structure. You following certain type of rules. You know what I mean? And that's what you teaching your kids.
Correct. 100. Like, that's truly what it has to be. And that's where, like, for me, I think from a dad standpoint, you highlighted it earlier, like sometimes the dads come in and kind of just like hands off, right? Like there is those aspects. And I'm still in the church, and recently was in a position of leadership where I dealt with our petitioners constantly, like, and I'm hearing all of these stories. So I'm taking those experiences of navigating, like, okay, what is the proper way of parenting here? But what I realized for some of my most crazy stories, I'm like, well, you didn't parent. Like, you're not your kid's friend. Like, not right now, not during this time. You know, like, this isn't the time to be friends. You and your dad, like, you have a dad and daughter relationship, but I think now it's even more so you're seeing him eye to eye as two grown adults and having sort of that relationship.
That's the only time you can be friends with your parent. Correct. As a grown person. That's the only time I can consider, like I said, my oldest child is 26. I can consider, you know, we have friendly conversations because again, she's a grown-ass woman minding her own self and taking care of herself. You know what I mean? But while you in my house and you a teenager and I feed you, friend who? Friend how? Girl, bye. Yeah. I do not want to be your friend. Wrong.
Yeah, I'll be friendly.
I do not want to be your friend. Yeah. But you know what? I'm glad that you brought up that the fact that you're still within the church and you know, involve yourself in church activities. Are your kids old enough that they're involved in the church activities too? And if they didn't want to be involved in that, how would you take it?
Great question. So let me highlight first that, like, I've only been back into church. I came back when I was 23. I was in college. I was a college athlete, right? You saw it on movies. I did it. Became a bartender. Best job in the world. If anyone gonna ask me,
I love bartending.
Bartending is the best job in the world. It don't matter if I'm a church.
I know that's like the money and the pum pum just was flying all up. What?
Hey, I was a former athlete, right? Like, you know.
You cannot tell me that pum pum didn't come with the money. No, you can't tell me that. You would be lying, sir.
So
you would be lying.
I ain't gonna lie to kick it. Like, that's true. I have my experience. I have my life. But I also, it just one thing that I came back home. So I had an older sister. She's basically said, "Hey, you got 2 weeks. I got your flight ticket. You're coming home." We're all kind of scared for you, because I was living free. I was loving life, and I had 8 older siblings. You know what I'm saying? And they all were pretty much 8 other adults or parents in my life, and there was a concern, I guess. So, anyways, so I came home, and of course, you live in a Samoan family. If you're living under their Samoan roof, you're gonna go to church. I went to church and I went with my parents, hated it, just hated it. But I needed to go for but I think with church in general, or with any faith-based or energy, whatever you're feeling, like you got to want for yourself, and that's what happened for me. And it came through fruition through all that. Fast forward now. Well, let me highlight, like I highlighted this in the email, like, yeah, I haven't partaken of the beautiful plant in over 10 years, but I am highly an advocate. And even within the church now, there is policies where they are allowing medical marijuana to be used, right?
Fantastic.
That is in there.
Fantastic.
And I am the speaker who's coming in to I go against the grain of the culture of church. And for people who used to tell me and Ruby growing up, marijuana is bad, and I'd be like, nah, it's in the handbook. You good. If you get a medicinal middle card, you good, and it's just, I've had opportunities now to use these experiences of being a user and lover of the plant and alcohol, all this stuff, experiences I had in my dark times, and being able to bring it over into the church. Now for my kids, in this particular leadership position I held, my kid was basically going to church during 2020 when we were all virtual. So he never really had the going to church experience with me and dad, because in my position, I was always out of the house early, you know what I'm saying? So I was in the bishopric, like I was a counselor, like, so I was hardly ever like with my family because I have to be sitting on the stand. I got to be away. And so then what happened is my oldest said, when his mom told him we got to go to church, he said, nah, church is for dada. Church wasn't for me. And that was big. That was big for me because I just needed him he never experienced what going to church with dad was. So with that said, like my wife and I are on the same, she's a convert herself. Like we're on the same plane though. He's still got to choose for himself in life. That's okay. But for him to say he didn't even know what church was like to go with me, like it was important for me to get out of that calling and that responsibility and come back and just let him come with me. Whether right now he's still like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like, he's there with me. And like, there's those moments of teaching him to show him like, no, dad is going to be here. And this is why it's important to me. Now, whether in life, like he continues or whatever, again, I just want, it goes back to reliability, y'all. Like, I just want him to be able to know, like, man, like my dad seems to be a reliable source for a joy or happiness or a testimony. Maybe I should go to my dad and figure that out. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how it came full circle, how I want my kids to understand is just like what it is means to me. And he can rely that I'm going to be in this way for this time being. In this season of life.
And you know what? We've had members of the church before, Queen. Remember the cannabis school? They're both members of the church. And this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. And it's not, we're not over here advocating for like crack. Okay. Let's just put it that way.
Ain't nobody talking about
well, I'm just saying, I'm just talking to the viewership.
Marijuana, a real drug, but the main reason why I want to make sure and say that the main reason why I asked is because when I was younger, my mother would definitely wake me up on a Sunday to tell me to go to church. She wasn't going, but no, she makes sure my ass would go. And it got to the point where it was like, yo, like, why am I going if I don't want to go? You know what I mean? And it's not like I go to anybody's church now. I stop playing with me. No, thank you. You know what I mean? But my thought was always that I wouldn't, when it came to certain things like that, like there's certain things that, yes, you got to push with your kids. Yeah, as far as like school, behaving themselves, you know what I'm saying? Following your rules, this and that. But when it came to religion, it was just like, nah, you know what I mean? It's almost like, for me, it's pushing my religion on my kids is like, it's like making them listen to music that I like. And it's like, nah, me and you are not, yes, you came from me, but we different. So I'm not going to make you do something like that. You know what I mean? If you don't want to, especially if I ain't into it, you know what I mean?
I get it. And you know what? We could go on and on about it. I'll share my own story some other time on that regard. But I just want to keep it here in that, Patrick, I just need you to know that you're so freaking inspirational. Okay. Like, thank you for doing what you're doing. Also, thank you for your vulnerability and sharing the story with your dad, or excuse me, regarding your biological father and your other father as well. Um, I would, I just, this is the first time I've ever been speechless. You know what I'm saying? It's because it does hit close to home. And so I just want to, excuse me, I want to ask you also, Patrick, is what would be your advice to a single father who doesn't have a spiritual backing or a community to help him?
What would be my advice to a single father without any spirituality backing and you said a village or
community.
Community.
Right. Like, how would you encourage somebody who doesn't have like those things to turn to when times get dark as a parent or difficult?
Just a single father. First off, like I would need to ask them for like, what do you rely on? Who do you rely on? Like, let's just be 100. Like, are you still connected to your parent? Like, who are your sources? You know, even if you tell me it's this social media podcast or this book or whatever, like those are the, like, whatever it is, I just want to know where the sources you go into for you relying upon for your sanity or whatever. First and foremost, let's just break that down. Let's just see how you seeking for truth for you, right? Because I think there's truth in everything, no matter if it's my faith or whatever in life. People got their, we are all God's children. We all have been experiences with truths that I can grab to. Like, Kai, we just met, but girl, I love you. You know what I mean? And the thing is because it comes associated with my cousin, right, with my cousin Ruby, though, right? Like, I know for a fact that my cousin wouldn't be just associated with anybody. I know that. Even for the years that we've been separated, I know. And then for real, she has a lot of cousins she could have asked to come on here. And I'm so honored she asked me. But that speaks to the fact that I know my cousin's only going to be associated with the right people for her and her family and her village. So going to the single father, going back to that experience, is like, who are you? You can associate with someone. Please don't tell me you're the lone, like you're the loneliest. Like, I never want someone to feel that, but sometimes they do. So in those experiences, where are you going though? Who you got? Is it the plant? Is it the cocaine? Is it the drugs? Where is it that you going for your sanity? What is the sources that you're relying upon to get you through the day? And if you just tell me it's just marijuana, okay, let's talk about it. I know about it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. But let's break it down. Like, what else can we do though? Like, let's just first navigate where you at. I think that's first and foremost, because it's going to help me understand kind of a little bit about you. You know, I think we can't say, I can't come in and tell you like, hey, go find God, or here, come take this book that helped me. Kai, you just alluded, like, you're your own mom and your daughter's your own daughter. Like, this person, the single father, is going to be their own person. And I don't know what's going on in that world of yours. So let's just navigate real quick. What do you rely on to be your source? Is it exercise? Is it food? Is it whatever the case may be? Let's just get me on a level playing. It doesn't have to be spiritual. I'd be honored to help you understand that. But if that's not, it is for you, that's okay. I think too much people, like in my position in church, sometimes think it is, that's the way. And I'm going to come at you with spirituality, when ultimately I need to see you as my brother first. And let's just talk about it right now, where you at. I think in my time as a bartender has given me that exercise of being able to talk with people from all aspects of life and demons. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, you're going through some shit. Here's a shot. Let's have a chat. You know, like let's figure it out. And I think it just making sure, going back first, eye to eye. Let's see each other first, and then let's see what you're relying on to be your source, and then let's see if we can find something that is even just close to that, to build upon it. Because one thing about truth, I just shared this today in our lesson, is like there's truth everywhere. But if you just hang on to the one little truth, the seed, and you're like hanging up everything on that one little thing, you're going to fall. You're going to just fall. You got to keep nourishing what you know. You got to keep expanding. You got to keep growing it. So if it is marijuana, cool, let's embrace it. I know 2 women right now who are good with talking about marijuana. And I'm going to introduce you to them. And I'm sure they're going to give you some perspective, right? And then we start building that community, because I'm introducing. But my experience, I can never tell someone or recommend something to someone if I don't know them. Like, I just don't know what you're going through. So why am I going to recommend what's worked for me? Like, it only works for me. Let's find out for you.
Word. And see, the main important thing that you said was that everybody has something. There's something that, you know, as and it's not even just adults, like, or like, because as we go through life, we all develop something that we go to that you know what I'm saying, that allows us to not only be comfortable within ourselves, but also allows us to, you know, to sit and plan and figure out shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and yes, for me, weed is definitely an assistance in that, because I've said it on this podcast plenty of times. Marijuana is a chick. She lives in my house. She don't pay no bills. Everybody knows she live here. Everybody knows she live here. Nobody's scared of her. You know what I'm saying? The kids know it was good. That's her. Yes, that's it. You know what I'm saying? And so within me smoking, sometimes if I'm not doing something at the time, 9 times out of 10, you know, thoughts is, you know, it's like me and her sitting around, and she's like, yo, by the way, tomorrow, you know, you gotta, you know, mail some shit. You gotta maybe talk to this person. Remember this person, they ain't sent you asked them for something and they act like they ain't want to respond to your email. You might want to holler at them again. You know what I'm saying? She a little assistant kind of way. You know what I mean? She makes sure remind me of some shit. You know what I mean? And then if I'm fucking up, she right there like, girl, you know, you could have did that better. Like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So everybody has something that you go to where you get to that place where you get to meditate and figure out what's in your situation. So definitely, you know, having something, you know, definitely talking about what that person got, that they, you know, because especially as a single parent, you going through it, because you know what I'm saying, you know, because half the time, depending on how the kid's situated based on age, is, you know, is how much, you know, babysitting, you know, opportunities there are. Like for my kids, you know, the middle one and the younger one are, you know, the middle one is old enough to watch the younger one, where, you know, CPS wouldn't even come in here and say nothing to me about nothing if they was here by themselves about nothing, because, you know what I mean, that just chill out, you know. But you know, and then you know, but if you a single parent and you know you got little kids and nobody want to give you an hour to yourself, you know what I mean, you gotta figure it out, you know, in between naps. You know what I'm saying? When you put the little person down, like, look here, take a nap so I can have 5 minutes to my motherfucking self. You know, that type of thing. So everybody has something. Everybody figure out the way. So, and that's how you're able to deal with your life. You know what I'm saying? You're able to deal and be able to motivate and manage, you know, people, because that's what you are as a parent. You're managing people. You're the administrative executive assistants. You make sure they get to their appointments. You pay for shit. You know what I'm saying? When they break shit, they look at you and say, "Could you just replace it?" You supposed to do that. That's your job. That's you. That's, you know what I mean. And within all of that, you got to maintain sanity. You know what I mean? And however you do it, whether it's, you know what I mean? Of course, we don't want to encourage people, you know, doing extra ridiculous, stupid stuff, you know. Sure. It hurting yourself, or you know, of course, because as far as I'm concerned, marijuana is not a drug. It's a plant. We love her. No, we love her. She's beautiful. You know, but if you do those other things, I guess I don't recommend it, but I guess, you know.
But I think
I got some more questions.
What were you
gonna say?
Real quick, I need questions. I want your questions. But Kai, you're basically highlighting the formula that I've talked about, right? You love Miss Mary, right? You've given your time available to her, and she has been a reliant source for you. That recipe goes further, right? For the man that we're talking about in the scenario, the single father, you know, like, what are you relying upon? Because I'm telling you right now, when I break it down, reverse engineer, you love that thing, and you're making your time available. So now to get out of it, what can you go and find the love and give up your time availability? Because I promise you, when you do it, you're going to be able to rely on it too. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I came with that understanding, that theme, because it goes to everything. It don't have to be good either. Like if you messing with the bad stuff, then you're just telling me that you love it so much that you're going to give it your time and availability. And that's why you rely on it so much. We get so trapped by the drugs sometimes. Some people really do, you know what I mean? And to your vices, and they're relying on it. So then let's scale it back and reverse engineer. What are other things that you love that you can give your time availability to lessen that reliability on that? So that's where it comes from for me. Like I feel like that theme goes for all aspects of the life, whether a father or mother or people in general. But I just bring it to reliability. You're relying on something. So let's just reverse engineer and like navigate how we can go rely on something else too. Okay, what's the questions?
Bars. Bars
Yes.
for both of you.
Bars indeed. Bars indeed, yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Man, so as well as, okay, Patrick, what is one piece of advice that you would give somebody who's considering dating a single mother? And then the second part is, what is some advice that you would give to a single mom who's looking to get back into the dating scene? Boom.
Okay, let me write those down. Okay, so first scenario is a man coming to date a single mom with kids. What is the advice I would get to them? And then advice to a single mother to get out there and start dating again, because both experiences are mine, which is very smart of you.
Right.
Love it. Appreciate it. I know we get it. You know, for my experience, first off, when my stepdad came to my life, I hated it. You know, I did not want my mom to get married. I would be at the house and I hear her on the phone. I would cry outside her door. So I'm like, again, at this point in time in life, all my siblings were out of the house. So it was just my mom and I. So I very much was just like, who the hell is this man? Why is she taking it? Like, why is he taking my mom? What's going on? So I think you need to navigate and understand coming in, like there's someone in that house who's known life as it is with just the mom. And if you're a man coming in, you got to recognize like, she's not going to give you the 100 that you're going to probably expect or want. There's other things taking her away. And, you know, to my dad's benefit, like they never really went on single dates. I was always included on the dates. You know, like he always brought me along. Now, whether regardless, like I was playing or something, but I remember most of the dates I was involved in some capacity. And that's just because my mom trusts me to not be a dipshit, you know, and I'd be a good kid and she could put me in the corner playing on my little computer and I'd be fine. Ruby can attest, like I wasn't a bad kid. So I think the part of it, I think a part of it was that he included me in it. And that's just to speak to a man who's coming into that life. You got to recognize you're not going to get the 100 that you would want. And especially if you're thinking you're going to come in and then you're going to start wiping your hands and putting your feet up in the relationship because you're a man, you need to think twice, because that's not fair. You know, my mom, from her second marriage, that's apparently what happened. You feel me? And so like, I'm taking that experience, her experience, and understanding like, you can't come in thinking hands off, you know, all right away. Now you are associated, as I said earlier in the beginning, now you are associated with children. Now you have an obligation and a responsibility to work hard to become a reliable entity in their lives. Not be their main source, because that's their moms, you know what I'm saying? And who's to say like maybe their dads in their lives too? Like the kids got to navigate through that too, I'm sure. But you just got to remember, you're not going to get the 100. That's just not, I don't think that's feasible. But what I do think you can do is just work on, again, love, being available, step back, desire to actually be a part of the kids' lives. Let me take a step back. Desire to actually do that. Let me take a step back. F all this love, reliability. Actually, like it all comes with desire. You got a desire to want to be a part of the kid's life. First off, that's my big advice. And I give my stepdad, my dad, that credit. You know, he did want to become my dad. He did want to take me in. You know, he took me to sign me up for Pop Warner when my mom didn't want me to. You know, like he did provide in ways that I was like, damn, like, okay, you want to be in my life. Like, okay. Because I don't know what this is. Right? I don't know what this relationship is, like what you trying to do. I just thought you were trying to take my mom away, you know, but again, I think you got to have a desire first to want to do it. And so that's that first advice. My bad. Let me take it back. Desire. That's a big word for me coming up in my life. I can share another bar another time of why desire is so key. But to the single mother, bringing a man into their life, right? I hate that I have to say this because I experienced this through the church of like other mothers, but it's like, you're a mother. Remember that part first. Don't devalue that all because this man is coming into your life and it feels good and it feels great. You still a mother. Like you've made a choice in life and you brought children into this world. So you are their everything. But unfortunately, I've seen some just selfishly, let's call it what it is, selfishly forget that big part of their life, that they're a mother first. And the kids are getting neglected. The kids are being second, and then I hear the story, like the story that I had to deal with personally with someone who came to me as their ecclesiastical leader and asked for this advice. I asked specifically, hey, so when's their particular date for their concert? She didn't know. When's these things going on with the kid? Like, because I knew I was working with the youth and I knew these things. And so I asked the mom, because it was kind of a way to be able to see how involved is she? Because I said, hey, such and such, save their names, told me that they got this track meet. I'm going to be there too. Will you be there? I didn't know he had a track meet. And I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, he told me, I just spent 5 seconds asking your son what's he got going on in his stuff in his life. And I think you as a mother first got to remember, I think what I've had an experience is like, you're still a mom. Please be involved. Because those kids, like you said, that structure, that goes out the window when you were just looking out for the dating scene and looking for that dick. I'll just be real, right? Like you're only worried about, or whatever it is you want to be, so you're only working for yourself and you're neglecting that structure, and that structure falters hard. And that's from what I've seen. And so my advice to the single mothers and to you, my cousin, my lovely, beautiful cousin, right? I think you already know this, or you wouldn't be on a podcast called Motherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like motherhood, but like that motherhood is important, and I think let's keep that value, because then the man that comes, or whoever it is that comes into the life, they need to see it being important to you, or move on, because if they don't come in and value that as well, like for example, when my brothers told me when I was going to select my wife. And our cousin Johnny, Ruby, he was like, man, that's going to be the mom of your kids. You got to choose wisely. Can you see her being your mom? And so the thing is like, can you see this person as a mother first? Coming in, like, is she a mother first, or is she just pussy to me? You know what I mean? And then that's not the person. That's not the person then, because you are a mother first. And I'm a big keen to motherhood. I respect all the mothers in the world, and I love them dearly because I'm a product of a single mom. So I understand how the importance and the value of a good mother who understands that in their lives. So the man or whoever coming into your life, they need to see that first. Sadly, like that's the real how I feel about it. So you can go out and go dating, girl, but just make sure you remember the greatest value you brought to yourself is being a mother, and they got to value that too.
And that's the thing too, because the fact is you don't want any man around you that is not going to value that just exactly the same how you value that. If he's on I don't give a fuck, then you gotta that's how you gotta weed that out. Like, nah, you gotta have, it's gotta be somebody that's definitely interested in knowing your kids and interesting in the best of you and your kids as a whole. He's not just interested in just being with you because he's only concerned about you.
And if I could add, like in that same situation with this particular mother, like eventually, right, like the kids, when you place the mother to have to choose between you and the kids, you've already lost. You know what I'm saying? Like you've already lost when you're making the mom having to choose the kids. Unfortunately, some moms make the wrong choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one perfect, but the moment you've done that in that part of the relationship to choose the kids, you made her have to choose her kids or choose you over her kids, you've lost. Because I've not seen success in the family or any situation, relationship, when that's happened, in my experience. When you pin the mother to have to choose between the two. It just has, I have never seen it be successful. Or that relationship be successful, the man and the woman, you know, mom and whatever, but then who loses? The kids.
Exactly.
Which means that you lost. Exactly. Dang. Oh, wow. I didn't expect to cry this much. I just don't want to show y'all, but I don't mind showing. I'm just like, man, this is a lot. Okay. And so, Patrick, as Queen, do you have any other questions actually?
I mean, I definitely want to ask one last question. I feel like, you know, that, you know, what you're doing is definitely a movement, is definitely something that, you know, it should, you know, continue and be recognized on a bigger scale. I'm assuming you're taking this movement, you know, based on, you know, churches and whatnot. I'm assuming that it's just going to be like within, or if it's not, then let me know. But where do you want to see it? Do you want to see it to the point where it's like, you're out, you know, giving speeches, you're teaching classes? Like, what's the ultimate goal with this brand?
You know, that's a great question, and I'm still navigating that. But I think ultimately, I want to have a community. I think what y'all have done beautifully already is being consistent, right? Consistent with your messaging and what y'all are about, and that's something I'm trying to make sure. What is my consistent flow? I would love to get to the point to have a community, to have conversation like this, you know, and podcast. I've been introduced to some men who are like, "Hey, like, man, I love your stuff. Like, do you think maybe you could start a Zoom?" Like, I'm already getting these ideas and from the audience I'm already going to, so that's great. But ultimately, like, girl, like, I just want to make sure I leave a message, that I left my truth, my understanding in the world. Like, we have the beautiful blessing of technology to be able to leave something. Like, if all of us were to die today, sadly, I won't have, all I will have are my posts of whatever I have. But y'all's got already enough here, season 7, right? Like, of content and stuff that you are leaving behind. And I think it's a beautiful thing for everyone in the world to at least do. Not many take that opportunity to. Like, I journal, but I'm realizing, like, that's for me. Like, I got something to say, you know what I mean? And I think it's just a matter of like getting over that hump for myself and getting in front of the camera to share that story. So I'm hoping that, one, I'm just more confident and being able to trust in this messaging. Y'all giving me that just by talking with y'all, and I appreciate it. But it's just like, I hope to get this message just out there, that whatever happens in life, like, I hope it gravitates to somebody at the right time, in the right moment, in the right season of their life. And that would be all for me. Like, it would be necessary. That would be it for me.
Yo, I can tell you like this, not for nothing, because not only, you know, do I, you know, do this podcast with Ruby, I have my own YouTube channel, and I also write books, and you know what I mean. And one of the things that I told myself when I published my first book was that a part of me is going to live forever based on that first book. You know what I mean? And you know, and I feel like the, you know, that part, just knowing that is you know, literally pleases me on a daily basis, knowing that, you know, that alone, never mind everything else that I've done. So it's all about, you know, starting somewhere, you know, whether it's, you know, whether you want to, you know what I mean? And that's and then two, because we live in such a, you know, a technology type of stage, you know what I mean? Like, we got YouTube, we got TikTok, we got, you know, we got all kind of ways where, you know, you could make your own videos and, you know, and just run your own website and decide to, you know, put them on your website if you know, if you want to do that, you know what I mean? Like, we got so many avenues that you could, you know, you could definitely, you know, start like that. And you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like I said at the beginning, your message definitely, all messages of positivity need to be continue to be shouted, because the society in itself is trying to make us think that nobody's listening. And the fact is, people are listening. People definitely are looking for ways to feel better, to get encouragement, whether it's affirmation, reading affirmations while they're scrolling on whatever social media. People are looking for stuff like that. And definitely men like you that are trying to, encourage parenting, encourage good parenting, encouraging being
present,
a father in their child's life, and being present, and doing more than, like you said, more than just doing gifts and going places and things of that nature, throwing money. It's not about whether you paid the child support. It's about, whether you went to that parent teacher conference and spoke to whoever, and remembered whoever's name in order to have a conversation with them about your academics. It's all about being present. And messages like this, just like when we started this podcast, I thought about it when she brought it to me. I was like, yo, motherhood, definitely. We had sex to be mothers. We damn sure like weed. And we damn sure know that the stigma around those three subjects are being expressed in the world negatively, in a negative way. You know what I mean? And we want to have a place that we can, people can gather and talk about,
normalize.
You don't have to look
conversation.
like this. You know what I mean? You don't have to, you don't have to live like this. And if you live in a certain kind of way, then you have encouragement. You have people that live life like you, and definitely are about that life and live that life proudly. So you should be proud about that life too. Like, that's one of the main things we push here. And definitely we also push, loving how you look, because again, one of the main ideas out there is they pushing, especially for mothers, is to get this snatch back body after you have kids. Like, no, I know the pum pum have on it. Sorry, the pum pum got a on it. Matter of fact, the pum pum had an on it before I had kids. Never mind now. So it is what it is. Love me.
Body positivity.
So we push all those ideas, and we definitely love when people hit us up, and tell us, yo, we love what you're doing. Please keep that shit up. So even when as you posting and you're talking about what's important to you as a father, and what's important for people to know about fatherhood, you thinking nobody ain't listening. Somebody listening. Trust and believe somebody watching. They might not click like, they might not click subscribe right away, but they watching. Oh, they watching. And you put
the boogeyman.
And the good feeling won't even, and the good feeling will come when you get that email or that message that tells you, yo, I've been watching your shit, and I've been hearing your message, and I'm glad that you are pushing the message that you're pushing. And that alone will give you encouragement to keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? So however you decide to start, just go, because it definitely is a message that needs to be heard. Absolutely. Word.
We can support it, like, blast you out. We'd be happy to. You're so you know what? You have a gift. You can't teach people how to care. That's one thing I know for sure. And if we're talking about God, and God can really do anything, he really can, but I don't believe that he can teach somebody to care as well as he can't teach somebody to do anything. You know what I'm saying? If you really believe in that, situation. I think I just feel so touched today, and I really appreciate my cousin coming out. Aside from being my cousin, He's just a marvelous person. Okay. So do you have any questions for us, these stoner, sexy mamas right now?
Man, you know, I kind of answered a lot of it, to be frank. I was going to come asking like, what was the motivations to get started and get rolling with this? And because I'm very inspired by it, because it is a topic that's just like, ooh, you know?
Trust me. We get hate. I mean, we definitely have gotten, funny, ridiculous and, whatever the fuck you feel like comments. And whether it's been on Instagram or YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And definitely, because the algorithms, yes, marijuana is legal in some states. So the algorithms don't necessarily like the words sex and marijuana, YouTube, funny style. So I think, and I think that's one of the reasons why we only have the amount of subscribers that we have, because the level of people that are watching is definitely up in there, up in the thousands, but the people subscribing, they scared to touch that button. They scared. They like, ooh, I want to, but no, I want to, but I gonna watch them still. I gonna watch them. And the fact is, because of that still makes us an important and growing entity. And never mind the fact that, let me tell you something, when it comes to the marketing, I kind of do my thing. Let me tell you, okay? I kind of do my thing. So that's right. I kind of do my thing. So
you do. What you talking about? You do. You're amazing.
You know what I mean? So I definitely try to be in different spots and and get our name and our faces and our products in different spots and whatnot. So it's definitely working out, slow steps. And that's another thing that we also represent, slow steps. Yes, yes, we would love fast steps, but at the same time, we like slow steps too, because slow steps mean that you'll see the value in what we bring. And when it's time to drop money in the cash app or somebody's bank account, you're gonna come right. You're not gonna come with some old cheapo numbers, because we're not taking cheapo numbers. You feel me? Just saying.
And it's funny because I've even shared this before. My mom has literally asked me to stop doing this podcast, and with all due respect, mother, I will not, because I'm not doing anything wrong. In fact, I think this ride has actually brought me a lot closer to myself. And I think in a world where we are taught to disassociate yourself by yourself so that certain people can maintain control, that's like the best gift I could give myself. I love myself deeply. The advice that you gave, Patrick, with regards to single mothers looking to hit home, because it's like what I'm experiencing right now. But having a son who, let's just say we're potty training right now, and it's like, when I think of having to change his number 2 diaper or his pull up, I'm just like, everybody just is ugly and not funny anymore. Like, nothing is attractive because it gets so real, But I love that, because it's like, I mean, if I do meet somebody that tickles my fancy, whatever, but right now I'm chilling. I feel very supported. My sister moved out here. Thank God for siblings that freaking get it. She's helping me to raise my daughter that was just born a year ago. So there's that dynamic. And I'm just like, I feel real good, Patrick. What is
Let me give you another gift. Okay. Let me give you another gift to yourself out of love for you. Because let's be honest, like my platform is like Dadalorian life, whatever this is. And like, what is he going to do on motherhood, sex, marijuana? Is he really going to do that? I can't lie and say like, man, like, would this be good for my platform and my voice? And I'm like, man, F that. Like, I love my cousin so much. I love her too much to not show her love on this podcast. And it don't mean no thing, because at the end of the day, I love all 3 of these things myself. Right? But I want to give you that gift, Ruby, that I'm here because I love you. And I love you dearly. And like, ultimately, I hope from here moving forward, like we're gonna reconnect on another level on the basis that like we got each other's numbers, because we don't got each other's numbers anymore. Like we need to clear that out. But I need you to get this gift from me that like I did have that like little preconceived notion, like, oh, what is this? The image for me. But I'm like, man, F that. Like I love all three of these things, but I love you. And I'm here because of you. And this is my support and showing out and giving you your flowers, that I'm damn proud of you. And I love you dearly. That like ultimately all that I care about, my dear, is I see you being that mother. That's why I give you that advice. Just never lose sight of that, because it's truly a beautiful thing to watch you become that. Knowing where we came from and knowing how I've seen other people who come from similar circumstances choose not to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? And like, what the hell? Like I could have looked at my circumstances and seen my mom's not be a mom either to me, and it would have been crazy detrimental to my upbringing and my structure. And she did it by herself too, Ruby. And I think that's why you resonate with her a little bit as well. You know, raising 6
I
kids.
respect her so much.
You know what I'm saying? And I know she would say that, I know she got the love for you too, right? But I think my advice was the same, because my mom never lost sight of it. She was a mother first. Like at that point in my life, when my dad, Limapu, came in, I can pretty much attest that my mom was like, I'm not going to let a man come in and ruin this. You know, I'm pretty sure she was dealing with that. And I think she was being very strategic. As much as she wanted to tickle her fancy, whatever, how old she was at that time. But being honest is because I was still in that picture. I was still 9 years old. And I think she didn't. I'm grateful for my mom for not having to be stuck, and grateful for my dad for not making her having to choose between me and him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm grateful at the beginning of the product. So just wanted to quickly give you your flowers and the love to you, my dear, and have this on the internet forever and ever. How much this cousin right here, your cousin, has got you no matter what.
And let me go ahead and say something to Mama, because hold on, player. Let me explain to your mama that here, look here. If you took 5, 10, 25 minutes out of your good time to watch a smidgen of our episode, you would see that first and foremost, yes, Ruby definitely is the wild card in the project. But what I'm saying is that this podcast, this platform is a necessary platform. It brings actual good conversation. It actually opens up things for other people. People actually watch us and learn shit. Okay, they get to see shit from that is brought to their attention that they would have never known if they wasn't connected to us. Never mind the fact they see two very, very intelligent women sit down, smoke a little ganja, and just talk facts and opinion. Share opinions, share facts, share different products and services that we know about, and at the end of the day, everybody that comes here learns something. They walk away with something. So we not just sitting around just smoking weed and talking about when you get a can of refried beans, who fried them first. We not sitting around asking dumbass questions. We not sitting around high on some fuck shit. Because apparently your mama is thinking that, we sit around and we get high and we be on some fuck shit. Nah, player. There's learning going on over here. There's definitely learning. There's entertainment. There's good content. And there's definitely a platform where people like us get to sit around and chat our business and chat other people's business. And we feel free, and we walk away knowing that there's a place that we can get together and talk like this. Because at the end of the day, even before this platform was created, we was all doing this. Mm-hmm. Like you over there judging, we were still doing this. Like this is how we live regardless. This is the conversations we have.
And
with
you know
our
what?
people.
Shout out to her.
So
I just sent her money.
we made a brand. And we actually trying to make money eventually, because eventually the train got to go to the money stops eventually. That's where we going. But what I'm saying is
what?
right now,
it's her arrested
that's where we at. This is a necessary platform. And your mama needs to check herself. Like, chill out.
Yeah. No, believe me, we've had our discussions about it. It's like there's nothing she could tell me that would make me stop anything I believe in. But at the same time, it's kind of like, let's say your cousin was special needs and your cousin just didn't understand why you did the things you did. She doesn't understand. So it's like, rather than, I told her I even rap. She thought it was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And so I just stopped telling her things, but I stopped resenting her, because it's like, you almost can't blame them if they don't understand. She's like, it's like her arrested development and her lack of growth within herself, and then yada, yada, yada. Thank you, therapy.
Right. She's definitely stuck. She's definitely stuck in the realm where women can't do it, or you can't do it. And it's like, nah, I believe in me. Fuck you talking about.
Well,
I treat her like,
and I'm already doing it. What you talking about?
Like,
and people already
like a 21-year-old.
And people already
like never got it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I send her money when I can. And I just let her know, like, everything's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a bad person. Jesus still loves me. So don't
look it. I can tell you right now, I'll
like, just because I'm living my life don't mean that God ain't watching over me. Girl, boo.
I agree. Here's the thing though. I guarantee you, if you say that I came on this platform, she's gonna think differently.
You're right.
I'm pretty sure by that, because I know my Auntie Tolu loves me and I love her, but I'm pretty sure and I'm certain, based on how I was raised and everyone who knows my mom, and who I became to be, for me to become on here for Ruby and I's family and the older generation that we don't really fuck with, like, in a sense, like, that should probably change the perception. I kind of have that gut feeling. You're gonna tell Auntie that Patrick came on here. She's gonna be like, "Oh, really? What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he came on here. You should listen to it." And you really could see the realities of really what this is. So, Auntie, I love you, but I love your daughter just as much. That this shouldn't bother you. Don't let it bother you. We're here to talk, and we're grown people. Are here to have a conversation and to reconnect and to expand and to grow. So here we are.
And you know what, too? Grown people, real talk. I've actually heard like different, like, if I remember correctly, I've heard like different comedians, like different famous people, even sports players say, when I was a kid, certain people didn't believe that I could do it, or the motherfuckers, I'm saying, even some internet comedians, they're like, yeah, a lot of people told me that I wasn't funny, and it wasn't until they saw me on this, or they saw me doing this, and they was like, oh, you really doing some good shit over there. So maybe I should check it out and support it. Yes, maybe you should.
My whole story is my whole story is like at a fork in the road where everything just launched for me. Is the moment when my own coach told me I couldn't play D1 football. I went to this man and I asked him, "Hey, how come you didn't help me get recruited? Like, what's the deal?" And he said, "I didn't think anyone in your graduating class could go on to play." And so then I looked at my circumstances and I saw, like, well, I never saw anybody in my high school go on to play. So I guess he's right. Like, I trusted this man for 3 years of my life to be the bearer of truth, a father figure and whatnot, and him telling me I can't do it. I guess I can't do it, right? But then later on in life, later on that year, I was told, this freshman girl, she was like, "Are you gonna play football next year?" I said, "Nah, I guess I'm done." Like, regardless of all the accolades and everything that I received for my individual efforts and team effort, I was just like, "Yeah, I guess I'm done." And she said, "What a waste of talent." And then that was the key, and that's the key where I believe that each and every individual in life is unique and beautiful. But our circumstances are not. That's the thing. That's the key factor. And my wife taught me that we are all unique, blessed, but our circumstances are not. And you do this, you provide this platform because there's probably someone out there just like you who needs to hear how to overcome and bring those solutions into their living room, into their phones, and that message. So you beautiful ladies are unique. We're all unique. And you're here to provide a sort of platform to share your circumstances with those who resonate with that, right? And that's the beauty of what y'all are doing and what I will be trying to do on myself and moving forward.
Yeah, you got the bar, Patrick. You rap because you could.
Nah.
Well, that's what's up. Yeah, I think we definitely have done a great show. It's damn shit almost 2 hours shit, and you know what I mean. We've definitely gotten a whole lot of information, and shoot, and we even sent a special message to to your mama. So yes, let's make sure that she gets the link to this episode. No, let's find out, what's her email and things, and just make sure and say hello. Watch this. No, watch this. No, you just take a look at time. I mean, because YouTube, you can't click on it whenever you want.
Like my favorite episode. This is my favorite episode.
No.
Thank you,
Pat. It's definitely been a great episode.
Love you.
I thank you so much for coming through, and definitely, and please, as soon, I'm talking about the very second, no matter how you do it, if you start a YouTube channel or you, like I said, you decide to go your own website and decide to post videos that way. However you do it, hit us up. We damn sure gonna promote it. We damn sure gonna be all up on watching it, because whatever opinion we got, we gonna definitely leave it in the comments. So make sure you let us know whatever it is, however you do it, but make sure you do go through that message. Even if it's about writing a book, you could even do that. However you do it, let us know, and we will definitely promote it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kai.
Thank you so much. And on that, Motherhood Sex Man One in the motherfucking
building with Patrick Tafua, DeLorean.
Yes,
subscribe.
A DeLorean life. Yes, I probably said it wrong because I'm high. Anyway.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Stay blessed. Talk to y'all soon.